Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Flynn and I am the owner and maker of Flynn Sisters Boutique, also Flynn Sisters Supply Shop. We got to figure out something for that intro. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this really cool iridescent beach wave effect on some wood rounds that I got from Hobby Lobby. This is so fun and easy to do. I'm going to have all the products that you see in this video listed and linked down below in the description box. You might even find some discount codes for you there as well. Now, my epoxy is currently out of stock. Yes, we're sold out again. I'm so sorry, you guys, but we have more on the way. We're hoping to have it here by Monday, which is later than we initially expected, but there's been some snowstorms and some wrenches in our spokes. So I really apologize for the delay, you guys, but that's our update. So stay tuned on that. If you want to get updates on when our epoxy restocks, you can go to our website and click notify when available on the epoxy product listing of whichever formula you've been waiting on. So that's definitely enough chit chat for me. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, really quick, I want to tell you about my new air purifier that I got from RESINERS. They sent this to me to try, and I've been using it for a couple months now in the shop, and I can definitely tell a difference. If you're someone who struggles to wear PPE while you go live, or maybe you have poor ventilation in your workspace, definitely check this out. It's really quiet, which I love. So again, if you are going live and you don't want to wear a mask while you're on camera, this is a good solution. I'll have a link and a discount code down below in the description box. Check it out. You guys, so I am starting with a Lazy Susan wood blank that I got from Hobby Lobby. I already removed the Lazy Susan spinny part. It was super easy to remove with just a Phillips head screwdriver. Once we've got that set aside, I'm going to tape off the back of my wood round, which is some masking tape. Once I've got all the tape down, I'm going to cut off the excess with a craft knife, and I'm going to press my tape down very, very firmly with a vinyl squeegee. If you're seeing your tape is struggling to adhere to your wood, take off all the tape, sand down the wood a little bit to remove any kind of oily finish it might have, and then remove any sanded debris and tape again so that your tape really does adhere. It's important that we get a good adhesion with the tape so that none of the epoxy seeps down and stains the back of our board. I'm also going to use 1/2 inch masking tape to mask off the sides of our board. If you want your epoxy design to flow all the way over the sides, then you can go ahead and skip this step, but for this particular design, I would recommend taping it off. On the front side of our board, we're going to prep it with some 80 grit sandpaper. I've just wrapped it around an old sanding block that I had to make it easier for me, but we want to make sure we get any kind of like rough edges off the sides. It just really clean this up. This Lazy Susan that I got from Hobby Lobby has some kind of a finish to it, like an oily finish. So I want to rub that off really good. I went back over it with a finer grit. This is a 120 grit sandpaper that I have, and just really smooth everything out nicely. Once I've got it sanded down, I'm going to go in with a rubbing alcohol and paper towel to clean off any debris. And then I'll go in with a tack cloth to really make sure I've got every single speck of debris off of this board, because we don't want anything on there when we go to apply our vinyl later. All right, I got this roll of like iridescent opal vinyl from Amazon, and to apply it to our board, we're just going to peel back the 1st inch of vinyl here and then anchor that down to the side of our board to make sure that we have the vinyl positioned properly to cover all of the areas of the board that we want to have this vinyl. Once I have it anchored down properly and I'm sure that the placement is right, I'm going to go through with my wide vinyl squeegee and very slowly and carefully push that vinyl down onto our board, using the vinyl squeegee to push back that paper backing. We don't want to pull the paper backing off ourselves. We want to just push that back as we're pushing the vinyl down onto the board. Take your time to do this. If there's any kind of air bubbles, you can push those out with your squeegee as well. That's one thing that's pretty forgiving about putting vinyl onto the wood, is it's easier to squish out the bubbles. If there's some that you just can't get out, you can go ahead and poke the bubbles with a craft knife and smooth them down with your vinyl squeegee. Once you have your vinyl applied, you're going to firmly press down along the edges and then go in with a craft knife and just cut off the excess. Being careful not to cut off too much like I did, where you're going to have to make a repair later. So take your time doing this and don't mess it up. Once you have that vinyl all trimmed up, we're going to trim the shoreline. I just freehanded this because I was afraid to stain the board with any kind of marker or pencil or anything. Once I've got my vinyl laid down, I'm going to go in with like I think it's called P600 or P6000 sandpaper. It's pretty much the finest grit sandpaper that I had laying around my house. And I'm going to go in circular motions and sand all over the vinyl. The reason I like to do this is because it just gives more of a natural look to the vinyl underneath rather than it just being super glossy. And I don't know, I just kind of like the look of it being more muted like this. It also gives a better bond for the epoxy. So what we'll do is create a mechanical bond with the epoxy to the vinyl, since epoxy doesn't really like to bond to glossy surfaces. And this is a glossy surface that we're trying to cover with vinyl. Once you have your vinyl sanded to whichever kind of fogginess that you want it to be, you're just going to clean it up with some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. You can see how it shines right back up, but still just a little muted. Next, I'm going to spray paint our beach with Skinny Dip from ColorShot. And really, I'm just very carefully spraying right up against the shoreline to blend that vinyl edge with our wood. If you overspray, just remove the excess paint with some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. It's going to come right up. If you want to mask off the remainder of your vinyl to do a second coat to make sure that you don't get too much overspray, you can do that. But it's really not necessary, and what we're looking for is that kind of fade between the shoreline and the vinyl. And it turns out really pretty. I did 3 coats of paint to get the desired saturation, and now we're going to start mixing our epoxy. I'm mixing 120 milliliters of epoxy for this. I didn't use all of that. We're going to mix up our epoxy until it is fully mixed. That means we don't see any ribbons, tracers, or rainbows. All the fogginess is gone. It's okay to see bubbles, but I always recommend mixing by sight and not by time. A lot of people get hung up on the time, but 120 milliliters of epoxy takes a lot longer to mix than 30. So mix by cue and sight, not by time. Once my epoxy is fully mixed, we're going to pour enough on the board, just enough to coat it to where my gloved hand can easily glide across the board. We don't want to pour too much so that it's dripping off the sides, just enough, okay? I'm also going to set a timer for 30 minutes. You're going to see why here in a minute. I don't recommend doing something like this with my fast cure epoxy just because it would be drying way too fast and we want to have a good amount of work time. Once we've got the board fully coated, I'm going to let this sit for approximately 30 to 45 minutes. We want to let this clear coat sit up before we spread the waves, because if we put the waves on immediately after we put this clear coat, they're just going to dissipate and not hold the cells and lacing that we're looking for. So definitely just step away. I'm going to mix a new batch of epoxy for the waves. For that, I'm going to mix 30 milliliters of epoxy, again using my Artist Cure formula, and I'm going to put a couple drops of Alumilite's white epoxy dye and a couple drops of this white alcohol ink. The alcohol ink is totally optional. If you just have epoxy dye, that's fine. I've just always added it to mine because I think I get better cells and lacing, but that could just all be in my head. All right, so our clear coat of epoxy has been drying for 30 minutes. I've got 30 milliliters of epoxy that I've just mixed, and I'm adding my white epoxy dye and my white alcohol ink. And then once I get that all mixed up, I'm going to go in with my stainless steel stir stick and just drizzle on my first wave very carefully, very slowly. Take your time. Remember, we can always add more. We just can't take away, so don't get too impatient. It's important to not position your waves too closely together so that when we blow them out, they're not going to run into each other. Once I have all my waves laid down the way I like them, I'm going to go in with my heat gun with my nozzle attached, and I'm holding the heat gun as low and to like parallel, I guess, to the board as I possibly can, trying to like blow that air flat against the board to get that epoxy to jump and skip as much as I possibly can. You'll notice that I concentrate the air right at the side of that wave and then move the tip up as it starts to move to really spread that out as much as I can. I think this does take a little practice. You don't want to have your heat gun on a very high setting to do this so you don't scorch your epoxy. Pull your gun up if you feel like you're getting it too hot or you've had it pointed at the epoxy for too long. I'm going to go through all the waves and do just the exact same thing to blow them out, starting at the top of the board and working my way down so that I end at the shoreline. Then I'm going to go in with just some of that leftover white epoxy and my stir stick and kind of swizzle around the shore just to add a little extra detail and whimsy, I guess, to that shoreline. If there's any parts that got a little muddy or clouded, I'm going to go in with a straw and really blow that epoxy out some more just to get some more cells and lacing. Next, we're going to apply just our final coat over the wave layer. I've mixed 100 milliliters of my Artist Cure epoxy, and we're just going to spread that over just enough, again, for my gloved hand to glide smoothly across the board, but we don't want that epoxy to be dripping off. Once I've got everything coated smoothly, I'm going to hit it with my torch to pop any bubbles, and I'm going to let this dry for at least 10 to 12 hours before we move on to the next step. It's also super important to note, and I really should have mentioned this earlier, make sure your board is on a level surface. That way your epoxy isn't running all off to one side. So make sure you do that before you start any of this. All right, so my final coat is dry on this board, and we're going to finish this out by removing all of that masking tape. If you're having a hard time getting your tape off, just go ahead and hit it with your heat gun, and that's going to make it come right off. Just be careful not to burn yourself. If you had any epoxy drip down on the sides, you can just sand that off with some 80 grit sandpaper. If it's really thick, heat it up with a heat gun, and then you can scratch it off with your craft knife very carefully, don't cut yourself, and just sand off any kind of remaining epoxy. Just enough to get it smoothed out. I'm actually going to paint over this with some gold marker. So this is just the wood round piece that I made. In the video, I actually made two pieces. One is the wood round piece that can be used as like a wall art piece, and then the other one is the Lazy Susan. So if you're making this to go on the wall, I'm just finishing off with some gold pen to make it look nice on the sides. But if you are doing this on an application that will be in contact with food, maybe don't do the gold pen because you would have to epoxy over it to make it food safe. So for the Lazy Susan, since that may be in contact with food, I did not do the gold pen on it. I just left it with the wood along the side. So if you're leaving the wood exposed on the side and you have some epoxy on there that got stained or messy, don't worry, sand it down really well till you can't really see it. Remove any excess and debris with rubbing alcohol in a paper towel, and then you can restore the shine with butcher block oil, and that will completely clean up those edges and make them look absolutely beautiful and very professional. But to kind of avoid that and be proactive and make sure that your sides don't get messy. While you're pouring your epoxy on the front end, make sure it's not dripping off the sides and wipe off any excess when it does. All right, and now that we're all done with our Lazy Susan, we can reattach the hardware for the spinny part on the bottom, which is super easy. Remove that stupid sticker that they put on there. But look how cute this looks with like some glitter on it. I think you could use this as like a cute photo prop. Use it to serve stuff on. You can use it in your powder room for putting perfume or makeup on it. I don't know. There's a million things you could do with this. I think it's really cute. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week, or when I have time at least. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you again soon. If you love this video, you could check out our last video here. Also be sure to find us on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and of course subscribe for all our new videos that come out every Wednesday and Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.